the elasticity of demand and its determinants, the factors that make it elastic or inelastic. So, the demand tends to be more elastic if there's a large number of close substitutes. So if you go down the toilet paper aisle at the grocery store, you see Quilted Northern and Charmin and all these other different brands. If one of them raised the price, well, I'm not going to buy that. I'll buy the one next to it because they are pretty close substitutes. If the good is a luxury, again, it is elastic. Like, for example, the picture I have here. The classic example is a European vacation. If the price goes up of a luxury item, like a European vacation, I'll find something else to do with my money instead. I don't really need it. And the longer the time period. Let's say that gas prices go up. Are you still going to buy gas tomorrow? Well, you need to get to school, and you need to get to work, right? So yeah, you're going to buy the gas tomorrow. Well, what if it keeps going up in the next few weeks, months, year? What would you do? Well, yeah, you're right. You might carpool, or you might get a bike. So in the long run, items tend to be elastic. So the next bullet here is likewise, it says demand tends to be more elastic. Well, it does if there's no close inelastic. I'm sorry, I should read my slide better. The demand tends to be inelastic when there are no close substitutes. So when I need it, it's the only one there. If it's a necessity, like a heart surgery, if the price goes up of that, will the quantity demand go down? Well, maybe a little bit, but if you need a heart surgery, you're going to buy it no matter what. And the shorter the time period. Just like the last example. If gas prices go up tomorrow, yeah, I'm still probably going to buy it. So does the quantity demand goes down? Maybe, but only a little bit, and that makes it inelastic. So there's two types. Elastic, which is very responsive to the price changes, and inelastic, which we don't respond very quickly to. Oh boy, math, just what we needed tonight. Well, don't worry, we'll work through it, and there's a formula below that you can look at, and I'll have that provided for you whenever we do these in class. You're not going to have to memorize it. But let's find out how we can find the elasticity coefficient. This tells us if the product is elastic or inelastic. If it's elastic, which means that there's a high response to a change in price, then it's going to be greater than 1. If there's not much of a response in change of price, it's going to be inelastic. So going back to ice cream cones, it says that the price of ice cream cones increases from $2 to $2.20, and the amount you buy falls from 10 to 8. Then your elasticity of demand using the midpoint formula will be calculated as 10 minus 8 all over 10 plus 8 divided by 2, and 220 minus $2 all over $2 plus 220 divided by 2. Isn't that fun? That comes out to 22% over 9.5%, which gives us the elasticity of 2.32. And go figure, ice cream is not a necessity, and therefore is an elastic good with the elasticity coefficient greater than 1. Again, I just want you to see how we can find this and how it is important for you. If you are a business manager, you'll want to see if you can raise the prices or lower the prices and what consumers will do. And again, I'll have this formula provided for you, so please don't worry about memorizing the formula. There are several different types of elasticity that you'll want to know, so please take time to write those down. And I don't have too much more to say than what's there. It says perfectly inelastic, the quantity demanded wouldn't change at all with the price. Doesn't matter what the price is, I'm going to still need to buy it. So the example I have is a heart surgery. If it's a super low price, well, that's great, but just because it's low price doesn't mean I'm going to go out and get a heart surgery. It's only those that need it. And so whether it's low or high, people are still going to buy that heart surgery. Perfectly elastic is the opposite then. The quantity demanded changes infinitely with any change in price. The example might be 2 pop machines. If you have 2 similar pop machines next to each other, and one is $1 and then the other one is 75 cents, No one's going to get that exact same pop at the pop machine next to it for $1. I'll buy the one for 75 cents. They are perfect substitutes, and why would I spend money on the exact same thing? So that makes it elastic. Unit elastic is when the quantity demanded changes by the same percentage change in price. So if Caribou raises their price 10% on their coffee, and the quantity demanded goes down exactly 10%, that would be unit elastic. Again, less than 1 is inelastic, and greater than 1 is going to be. So why in the world do we care about elasticity? That is a pretty good question if you ask me. Well, it comes to trying to figure out the total revenue that you're trying to make. And what we want to know is if the price goes up, can we increase our total revenue? Or if the price goes down, is it going to decrease or increase? We would like to know that. So total revenue then is simply defined as the amount paid by buyers and received by sellers for a good. This can be found by multiplying the price times the quantity. I know the information below is really quite wordy, but it's also probably the most important slide of this lecture. So please take time to write this down and then reread it. What it's saying is that in an inelastic demand curve, if the price goes up, the quantity demanded will go down. But it'll only go down by a little bit, and therefore your total revenue would actually increase. Likewise, if it's inelastic and you lower the price, the quantity will go up, but only a little bit. So your total revenue would decrease. That sounds like it'd be pretty important to know if I was a business owner. If it's elastic and I make the price higher, well, that means there's lots of substitutes. And so the quantity demanded would go down. It would go down a lot. And so total revenue would go down. Now, what if you decide to lower the price? Well, you might actually increase your total revenue, kind of like what Subway did with their $5 footlongs. They realized that they could actually make more money by lowering the price. So the price goes down, the total quantity goes way up, and the total revenue then goes up. So this is very helpful if you're going to start a business. The elasticity of demand is probably the most important elasticity term to know. However, there are some other elasticities that may or may not be tested on, so I'm going to cover those very briefly. In fact, this will be my only video on it. The rest of the slides you can just copy down. Some of the things that you will learn about is how the cross-price elasticity of demand measures the responsiveness of demand for one good to changes in the price of another good. So that's just looking at like substitutes and complements, and if the price of substitutes goes up, then how much less are you going to buy of the other substitute? Or complements. If the price goes down, well, how much more are you going to buy of the other complement? So that's just, again, measuring the responsiveness. Also, it looks at income elasticity, and if your income goes up, how much more of a normal good are you going to buy? How much less of an inferior good are you going to buy? So again, it's just measuring that responsiveness. And then price elasticity of supply. If you're a producer, the price goes up, how much more will you produce? And again, how much less will you produce if the price goes down? So those are just some of the other elasticities. They're important, but not nearly as important as the elasticity of